fire, no one could save me but you.
The first episode of this mini series for 24 Live Another Day just went off about 10 minutes ago. And I decided, hey, why not review the episodes of one of my favorite series of all time? Now, a couple rules about this. First of all, I'm not going to spoil anything in these reviews. Why? Because it's a review, and the idea is to persuade you or dissuade you into looking at an episode of 24. But given this is a mini series, there's not really gonna be any episodes you're gonna want to miss. These first episodes are a very good news, bad news kind of situation. The good news is Jack is back. Duh, obviously. More good news, it seems that the gravity of the situation is much heavier than in previous series, which is really great. The bad news is if you haven't seen other seasons of 24, you might be a little lost. I would have liked to have said, hey, if you've never seen 24, start here because you can't. You'd be a little lost with some of the characters and some of the events that have happened in Jack Bauer's life, but they try to give backstory without clubbing you over the head with it, which is fine. The episode itself was done pretty well. Um, I miss, I really miss the whole 24-hour situation and how it keeps time with its actual runtime on television. I really miss that, and it's just really, really good to see Kiefer Sutherland as Jack Bauer again. I mean, it was just great. The bad with this episode, though, however, is something that hasn't really happened in this series. Is that there seem to be a lot of jumps in logic and gaps in common sense that, like I said, you don't really run into in a series of 24. Don't get me wrong, you can overlook these for the sake of, plot progression, but they're still there and they just kind of, just kind of nagged at me. It was really weird. I don't know if everybody's going to have that problem, but I did. In the end, it was a pretty good episode. You get the idea of what's going on, what's about to happen, why it's happening, and not really given a way to fix it. And in typical 24 fashion, at the end of an episode, you're left with a bunch of questions and only two answers. So it does that pretty well. So first episode, of course, was a 2-hour special episode, and it's not time wasted. I suggest you look at this. Just wholeheartedly, I suggest you look into this. And if you're feeling a little lost, feel free to Wikipedia the show. Read everything about it. Just all of that. Do it right now. Read everything about 24. And then come back to this episode and episode. What's an episode? Episode and watch it again. I mean, it's really good. It's really, really good. And it's better than a lot of other stuff that's on Monday nights. So, well, until football season starts. But this will be over before then. So, yeah, give the show a look. And I think I'll give this episode a 9 out of 10. Not a 10 out of 10 simply because the gaps in logic and common sense got on my nerves. But everything else was great. There was a little bit of action. There was, Jack Bauer. So, it was only going to be so bad. So there you go. 9 out of 10. In the comment section, let me know topics you want to hear in my discussion videos. Follow me on Twitter and all that other stuff you already know. I've been Ken and Tonic, and I'm glad we had this talk.